The Chiefs just beat the Giants by the final score of 22-9 on Sunday Night Football. They escape New York with the win. They pick up their first of the season. And with the loss, the Giants fall to 0-3. But that's not really the storyline coming out of this game. The Chiefs' offense was once again bad. And I've got a ton of thoughts in this post-game show. But if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Michael Darcy, and you're watching the KC Sports Report. Do me a big time favor and hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more daily Chiefs coverage. The Chiefs just won an ugly game on the road, primetime, on Sunday Night Football. They escaped this game in New York. They might have won this game by the final score of 22-9. It didn't look like it. The Chiefs played a horrendous game in the first half. They went into the half leading 9-6. And the only reason that it was 9-6 is because the Giants failed to connect on their extra point because their kicker's banged up. And so they missed that. Harrison Butker got a field goal to end the half to make it 9-6. They scored 2 touchdowns in the second half, both from Tyquan Thornton, who was just a massive positive in this game. But outside of that, man, the Chiefs' offense just looked bad. And we're going to go over these stats because I think it just shows you how bad they were in this game. Patrick Mahomes, 22 of 37 for 224 and 1 touchdown. He showed up, man. I thought he looked good. But Isaiah Pacheco had 10 carries for 45 yards, averaged 4.5 yards a carry. There was one play where he was running behind the line of scrimmage, and Mahomes threw that pass, and he didn't catch the ball. And it was basically, they called it a backwards pass, and so it was technically a free ball, and Mahomes had to go steal it from the Giants. But that's not a good look. Pacheco should have fallen on that ball, and I thought he looked bad tonight. 4.5 a carry, considering the Giants' defense gave up 5.9 yards a carry on average. Not impressed. Kareem Hunt, 10 carries for 34 yards. He averaged 3.4, and he had a touchdown. Brashard Smith, he had 2 for 13, but I thought when he had the ball in his hands, he actually looked pretty good. Nico Remigio had 1 carry for 11 yards, and Patrick Mahomes had 5 scrambles for 2 yards, only averaged 0.4 of a yard per scramble. It was nice to see, though, that Mahomes was not the leading rusher in this game because I felt like he was just too much of a factor with his legs the past 2 weeks. Tyquan Thornton, man, 5 receptions, 71 yards, 1 touchdown. He's your game's MVP. He was fantastic. He had 1 touchdown, essentially gave them the other touchdown by putting them at the 1-yard line, giving Kareem Hunt an easy touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, he had 4 catches for 55 yards. Hollywood Brown had the quietest 4 for 42 that you've ever seen. Travis Kelce, 4 for 26, average 6.5 per catch. Noah Gray, 3 for 17. Kareem Hunt, 1 for 10. Brashard Smith didn't get involved in the pass-catching game, but I thought when he touched the ball, he was actually pretty impressive. But again, the Chiefs' offense wasn't good in this game. And I thought Tyquan Thornton looked good. I thought Brashard Smith looked good when they gave him the ball, which was not enough. Didn't see Jalen Royals on the field whatsoever. I don't know what the plan was with that, but you saw frustration kind of boil over in the first half. Andy Reid on the sideline put his shoulder into Travis Kelce. And I love that because Travis Kelce has been a pouty little the past couple of weeks on the sideline just complaining, and no one's kept him accountable. So the fact that Andy Reid got up in his face on the sideline and it was kind of like, let's go. There's no urgency with this offense. I just thought there were so many times tonight where the play calling from Andy Reid was complete and utter garbage. They had a screen pass to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce's 35 years old. What are you doing giving him a screen pass? What is Isaiah Pacheco doing running backwards? Why do you have him lined up outside like he's even a threat to catch the football? I don't understand what the philosophy was in the first half. The Chiefs were god-awful offensively in the first half. they kind of redeemed themselves in the second half by running the freaking football, because the Giants have one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. They gave up 177 yards on average the first 2 weeks of the season. Backs were getting 5.9 yards per attempt, and the Chiefs couldn't do anything in the first half. They didn't even try to run the football. But in the second half, I don't know what Andy Reid said at halftime. I'm sure there were some expletives, thrown about that locker room. But you saw them come out and run the football effectively, and it opened up other avenues for Patrick Mahomes to run the football. And, again, Patrick Mahomes does not get enough credit for what he has done for this football team. I know they're sitting right now at 1-2. His offensive line has been complete and utter dog crap. Jawan Taylor needs to be benched. I don't know if he's got dirt on Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, the front office, Andy Heck, the offensive line coach. I don't know who he has photos of in a compromised position. You can't play him. Jawan Taylor is so bad. He is so predictable. He's so bad, guys, that NBC had a graphic waiting for Jawan Taylor to commit a penalty. I mean, he is just a pencil in for, a back-breaking penalty, and there were multiple times tonight where the Chiefs' offensive line had a holding penalty that killed an offensive drive. You can't have that. The Chiefs have not looked like the more disciplined football team the first 3 weeks of the season. And I understand they won this game, but how am I supposed to be over the moon with this win when you play the Baltimore Ravens next week? And that game's going to be tough. They're a very stout opponent that is one of the best teams in the AFC. And you struggled to beat a Giants team that you had the starting quarterback of the Giants was getting booed in the second half because he was so god-awful. And I want to give some credit to the Chiefs defense, because the Chiefs defense showed up in this game in a big way. They held that Giants team, and specifically, they held Malik Neighbors to one catch until late in the fourth quarter, where they started to force feed him. So props to Steve Spagnuolo. Props to them taking away the Giants' number one option in Malik Neighbors. They made guys like, Darius Slayton and the tight ends for the New York Giants beat them, and they couldn't do it. And you saw Russ, he threw 2 picks to the defense. And you saw Chris Roland Wallace get one. I think Jalen Watson had another. And so the defense played well, outside of some blemishes from, guys like Nick Bolton in coverage, and at times the pass rush wasn't there, but Chris Jones had a sack. George Karlaftis had a garbage time sack. You can live with that. The defense is not why I'm frustrated after this win. I'm frustrated because it took them a half to figure out what they were doing offensively. This team doesn't know what their offensive identity is. They've got no clue. I mean, I think they want to be a team that throws the football, but outside of Tyquan Thornton, who's been catching the football? It's not Travis Kelce. Juju Smith-Schuster, at times, his knees are done. Travis Kelce is not the same player that he was 2 years ago, and I know a lot of people are excited for Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice to come back. This offense isn't getting fixed with just bringing those guys back. There's more issues that lie underneath. The play calling's bad. The play calling is horrible, and I think they can't run the football. Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, against one of the worst defensive lines at stopping the run, didn't run for that many yards. I mean, all things considered, they struggled to run the football. And so I'm not confident that going up against a team like the Baltimore Ravens, that you're going to be able to run the football. And so it's going to be Patrick Mahomes back there in the pocket, evading pressure, trying to find Tyquan Thornton, who's probably going to be double covered because he's the only wide receiver that is worth covering, because Hollywood Brown, non-existent. Travis Kelce, he's old. It's just like so maddening that the Chiefs offense has decayed to this shit. We're watching one of the best quarterbacks of all time throw the ball downfield on a dime to Tyquan Thornton because nobody else can get open. His options have let him down time after time. And, that clip of Isaiah Pacheco running backwards, and Mahomes shouldn't have thrown that football to him. Why are you running backwards, man? I just don't get it. I don't understand what the philosophy was offensively coming into this game. The Chiefs realized in the second half, oh, we should probably run the ball against this defensive line that sucks. And they don't suck at getting to the quarterback because Patrick Mahomes was running for his life all game and still found a way to make plays and kept his team in the game. It didn't look pretty, but he did enough to get it done. Nobody else, Patrick Mahomes, Tyquan Thornton, and Brashard Smith, I thought looked good. Outside of that, Juju looked good at times. Travis Kelce is just becoming a nightmare. He's fighting with Andy Reid on the sideline. And I don't know if that's a healthy thing because we saw it happen last year, but it's starting to become the norm. It's starting to happen on a weekly basis. And if that's happening, you can't tell me that guys are still confident that they can go out there and win when it seems like frustration is boiling over each and every single week. This time, frustration boiled over on an 0-3 Giants team that's about to fire their head coach and bench their starting quarterback. So I've got major questions going forward, and I want to talk more about this game and some of the positives because there are some positives, and we'll do that right after a word from our fantastic sponsor. This video is sponsored by my friends over at DM Injury Law. Injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation, but time is critical. Rely on the experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's top injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury practice supported by a large team of investigators, case managers, medical records specialists, and more. And best of all, you don't pay unless they win. DM Law operates on a contingency fee basis, meaning no fees unless they win your case. And they also provide free consultations. So if you've been injured, don't wait. You can contact DM Law today for a free consultation and learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on healing. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thanks to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. Huge thanks to all of the sponsors that have supported me and this channel all football season long. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm actually hot. I'm screaming, I'm sweating right now. That game was frustrating to watch. And I know a lot of Chiefs fans probably aren't super confident going into next week. Listen, last year the Chiefs won a lot of ugly games. You could argue that they figured it out towards the end of the season and they got better. I still think this team is going to get better, and it's much better that you won this game rather than losing it, but I just see the offensive issues, and I don't really think that it's an easy fix. If it was an easy fix, then when you have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy out there, we won't have an issue. But I don't think that it's that simple. I think the play calling is bad. I think Mahomes doesn't trust his offensive line, his running backs, and that presents a huge problem. So I do want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. How do you feel about this team following their 22-9 win over the Giants on Sunday Night Football? Again, much rather you win this game than lose this game. But I think that outside of the defense, which appears to be a championship-level defense 3 weeks through the season, the offense needs to come around. And outside of Patrick Mahomes, and I guess Tyquan Thornton, nobody else is showing up. The offensive line has been bad really this entire season, and at a certain point, they need to make some tough decisions. They've got a guy in Jalen Moore sitting on the bench making $15 million this season, bench Jawan Taylor. I don't know what he has done to continue to have his starting job. There's no accountability right now for the leaders on this team. And that's why I like Andy Reid getting into Travis Kelce, because Travis Kelce has been Mr. My bad, I'm the leader, got to take accountability. He hasn't taken accountability. So I like that Andy Reid got in his face, but if that's happening on a weekly basis, this Chiefs offense is cooked. Now I think that, again, you've got Andy Reid, you've got Patrick Mahomes. The hope is that they can figure it out, but I'm not sure how confident you are that they're just magically, when Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy come back, they're going to be like, oh, it works now. I think the offensive line in pass blocking has been an issue, and run blocking has been an even bigger issue. Pacheco and Hunt are, backs past their prime. They're not really guys that Mahomes can trust. And outside of Tyquan Thornton, who is giving you any reason to be faithful in this Chiefs offense? So I know this is probably not the post-game show that you guys wanted to hear, but I just wanted to give you my honest, raw, real thoughts. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I think that it's a good thing the Chiefs picked up the win. They've got to improve a lot. You're going to face one of the best teams in football next week in your house. And if you can't figure your stuff out offensively, you are going to get laughed out of the building. So that's my thoughts on this Chiefs win. Again, the Chiefs escape New York. Primetime Sunday Night Football with the win. They beat the Giants by the final score of 22-9. They pick up their first win of the season. The Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos are all 1-2. The Chargers are 3-0. You're only a game behind them in the AFC West. Go handle business, and you still have a chance to win the division. I know that might not be what anyone wants to hear right now, but the positives are that you won a game you should have won. So drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. That's all I've got for this post-game show. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, go Chiefs.